Hello and welcome to the Level 10 Contractor Daily Podcast. As you can see, I have a special guest with me today, Jamie Vumbach from Get the Referral, otherwise known as GTR. How you doing, Jamie?
Doing well, Rich. Thanks for having me on.
I've had you on before, and I specifically asked Mary Beth to go track you down and put you on again because we're in a whole new world right now. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with the TCPA thing. But I have a feeling that is there any other possibility besides lead cost goes up?
Yeah, it's changing the way I think contractors think now. The term I heard from a lot of contractors out there is they're going old school. I mean, they're looking back in the annals of history and saying, "Hey, what used to work? Let's try this again." And so we're seeing a lot of that going back to old school techniques. A lot of canvassers are going back out into the field again, so I see companies that didn't do canvassing for years going back and creating these big canvassing teams. So I think what you're seeing is, just the beginning of a change in the industry. The whole COVID boom has gone and, come and went. There was a lot of, I think, inflated um, thought processes around leads that they're never going to stop. This is unbelievable. Contractors did extremely well during the COVID years, and the ones that didn't plan for a slowdown are in for an awakening. And now couple that with not just TCPA, but also AI. If you look at doing Google searches, guess what comes up first now? An AI summary, right? And so how do you become part of that AI summary, and how do I put my name out there? And so I think organic search and paid search is going to change dramatically over the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months. And obviously that cost is going to go up, right? So Google's trying to figure it out as well as we go. So not only will TCPA, and we can talk a little bit about exactly what TCPA is and what does that mean. I think it's a combination of a lot of things coming together all at once, and a culmination of a lot of factors out there. So
Now,
you're going to see.
the whole idea behind the TCPA, I'm a big fan of it because from a consumer standpoint, the idea that you fill out a form online sort of innocently because you're looking for information and or a quote on something, and then you start getting deluged. My wife came to me a few months ago and she said, "Hey, the countertop, we have granite countertop that's like 5 or 6 years old or something," and she's like, "Hey, I think there's something happening to it. We need to get it looked at and perhaps sealed or something like that." I was like, "Great, whatever. I don't care. Go do something." So she goes online, fills out some kind of form. Apparently, I don't even really know until later. She's like, "Man, I'm getting inundated with concrete guys, not even countertop guys." And then I had the guys start knocking on my door, "Hey, I heard you need some concrete." I'm like, "No, I need to seal." Like, to me, this is abusive. And so the idea that they're going to force these lead gen aggregator companies to play nice in the sandbox with consumers, I think is really great. I wonder if they anticipated, the TCPA folks, the idea, what you said at the beginning of the call, is like, all right, gear up for having your door knocked on a bunch of times now.
Yeah, yeah. They're going to have to be a whole nother set of rules going on for door knockers.
But realistically, let's just look at it strictly from the standpoint of aggregated leads. Okay.
Yeah.
If you've got a company who historically has taken a lead and sold it 3 times, 4 times, 8 times, 10 times, how many ever times they sell it? They all say like three, but I think it's actually more like 10.
8 to 10. Yeah, yeah.
And now they have to get consent, and the likelihood of people consenting to more than three is pretty low, in my opinion. So for them, for their business model to work, they have to raise that price. The AI things you talked about with search, I think it's just going to actually help Google search. Our business is definitely booming as a result of this. We do SEO, and it's like, hey,
Mhm.
your SEO leads have always been, if you do SEO right, have always been either on par or even less expensive than than other kinds of leads. But now that's going to even be more in our favor, and if you're a contractor, your favor. But you know what? The reason I asked you to come on is not to talk about SEO or AI. It's like, okay, people are going old school, and referral has got to be the old schoolest of all old school. But you guys have a twist on this old school thing, and I just have this feeling. You know what is it they say, Jamie? You've got to say something like 7 times. I've got 6 kids, so I'm familiar with this. It's like you got to tell them like 6 times or 7 times sounds really low, like 10 times.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm trying to say. I want people to hear this from you again now as we go into this new year under this new regime, because I want people to maybe who didn't take last time we had this conversation about referrals as seriously as maybe they should have. I want them to take another look at it.
Yeah, Rich, I appreciate that. And it is a passion of mine. I've been doing this 10 years, right? I own my own company, own my own solar company, door knock myself. I did in-home sales. I get how hard it is to, kind of build a relationship with a customer, and then to, go through the whole process of signing a contract and, getting, in home for an hour or two, going through all that. And then, oh, by the way, do you have anybody, friends or family that can use our service? It's tough, right? And sales reps kind of, have a process. They want to get out of there as soon as that contract's signed. They want to move on to the next one. And so companies struggle with that. One thing that I, identified, we really are, I would say as a company, making a pivot towards more larger enterprise companies, mid-level companies, because there's such a need in those channels where they're just not good at referrals. And I talk to CEOs and presidents of these big multi-billion-dollar companies, and they're like, I go, what's the percent of referrals that you're getting? And I haven't heard one of them say more than 4 or 5%. Now you got a couple that are doing really well and they see the opportunity, but you're talking 3 to 5% of their revenue comes from referrals, and it's all organic stuff. It's just like, hey, I told a friend about you. And so they're coming to me and saying, we need to do better. Like, how can we do better? And so, it all starts with relationship building and building that relationship with the customer in home. And then throughout the process, giving them a good experience, right? And then from there, that leads into better reviews, as well as it makes it much easier to ask for a referral, or it's much easier to ask a customer to share, a referral link on social media, right? So I say that because introducing technology makes referral generation much easier. And that's what we do, right? We help companies introduce technology in a way that is simple and easy and transparent for the homeowner, so that they can have a great experience. Like, I always say, our product is, from the point of sale to the delivery of the product and beyond, right? So utilize our product throughout that whole process through communication, engagement. We integrate with their CRM. We give them the ability to update their projects. They can upload documents. I mean, so there's a lot of other things that, makes putting together a good referral program, other than saying, hey, do you have a friend or family member? Here's my business card, right? And that does work. That's old school, right? So take an old school practice, apply technology in a way that makes sense for that company, and make it part of the process, and you will see more referrals come through the pipeline.
Okay, so I think the idea that a referral is good, and I'm sure you could give us some stats about they
Yep.
close at a higher percentage, but I mean, we don't even really need those stats because, duh, of course they close at a higher
Yeah.
percentage. I don't think anybody's really on the fence on that one. I think the biggest problem is, okay, well, how do we actually get them? And so this is where get the referral comes into play. So I want you to just sort of walk us through how it works.
Sure. Yeah, and when you look at our program and our product, there's really two approaches. One of them is your sales rep, your sales team. They are the face of your company. They're out there, meeting with the customers. And so, making sure that you give them the tools to make it easy for them to work with their customers. And so basically at the point of sale, what we do is we're going to build a custom branded app. So it's going to be branded for the company. It's going to have a branded icon on the phone. So they're actually going to own real estate on the company's phone. on their customer's phone. And that's very valuable nowadays, right? And there's reasons why that customer at the point of sale will download the app, and that is so they can track their project, they can access their contract. It's almost like a portal for the customer to be able to really, have insight and to really have a good experience. And the key is this component of it when you're dealing with sales reps is the funny thing. I'll give you a stat here. 91% of people said that they would, typically send a referral if they had a good experience, but only 11% of salespeople ever ask, right? There's a big disparity there. And you really need to get your sales reps engaged, incent them. Most companies pay self-gen leads, right? An extra 5-10% on commission. So get your sales reps engaged, and, make it part of the process so that every customer that they talk to, they get them downloading the app. They walk them through it, a 5-minute little tutorial, and they're off to the races. And then everything else is done through the integration and updates. And each customer is going to have their own referral link where they can share on social media.
All right, hold on, back
Referral.
up.
Yep.
We'll get to that.
Sure.
But
Okay.
so you said that, okay, so they're going to download the app. It's going to be custom
Mhm.
built so that it's branded for, whatever your company is, not
Yep.
your Jamie company, but you listener company,
Correct.
XYZ Remodeling, Superior Remodeling, whatever. You said that they can track the project on it. Now, is that going to require the contractor to integrate it somehow to it, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we do. We have simplified it over the years. We've integrated with over 100 different CRMs out there. Obviously, there is, the top 10 that most contractors use out there. But there's a lot of tools now. We can do a direct integration. We can do, use Zapier. So there's a lot of different ways that you can integrate, and we've simplified it. And we do a lot of the work on our end. And it's just part of our overall onboarding process. That is something that is really important because you don't want, somebody to have to go into a CRM and then go into another system. We want it to be simple for our contractors once we set this thing up.
So what percentage of your customers at GTR, once their customers download the app, are actually able to track the project through that because their CRM is successfully, not only is their CRM successfully connected to the app, which sounds like you've got that pretty well under control, but also the contractors actually putting reasonable updates into the CRM so that the person has something to see. So
Yeah.
do you run into problems with that, or is it running pretty smoothly that way?
Yeah, no, I would say, we shoot for 100% because that creates a better experience, number one. But number two is, they have to move that job, unless they're not using a CRM to manage their projects. It's just a matter of, equipment delivered, permit received, whatever those stages are that they normally use with a project. We just integrate, we map it to whatever stages they want the customer to know about.
Okay.
And it's automatic.
So here's why I'm kind of stopping this conversation and focusing on this little piece. And I want to get to the rest because it's kind of where the sizzle happens. But this is
Yeah.
an interesting piece to me because I'm going to say something. I want you to tell me if I'm right or wrong. I might be
Hmm.
wrong, but here's what I think. There could be people listening to this conversation right now that take the following way. Even if I'm not all that interested in the referral part of this, which hopefully you are, and especially as Jamie gets into that in a minute, but I think I just heard the guy say that we now have our own custom app that people can track our jobs on, which we currently don't have one of. So even if I'm only minimally interested in the referrals, this is really actually a really important thing for me. Did I understand that or
Yeah.
misunderstand that?
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned earlier, get the referral GTR. We really, transitioned over the years from being just a referral platform to being that all-in-one communication engagement tool that a contractor can utilize and brand and actually lift the level of their expertise. Like, hey, I got an app and it's branded for me. And there's a big piece here. So we introduced that probably around 5 or 6 years ago, by a suggestion of one of our customers, right? And so we built it out. And that is, I would say probably 10 to 20% of our customers originally go like, wow, I want it just for that, right? And then all of a sudden, the other stuff just happens naturally because it's so easy to use. And so they're able to then get referrals as well.
Yeah, I'll give you a parallel example, or I don't know if it's exactly parallel, but here's the example. I'm a huge proponent of the brand ambassador program, which, by the way, this will work fantastic with. We can touch on that in a minute.
Mhm.
But I love Bob Quillen. He's kind of the grandmaster of the brand ambassador program, and
Mhm.
he is all about the canvassing part of the brand ambassador program. You're gonna, train these guys. You're gonna send them out. They're gonna knock doors. You're gonna generate all these leads. And I always look at him and I like, Bob, even if they never canvass a single door, the brand ambassador program is amazing because it's going to allow you to get feedback from your customer, to get photos, job site photos, customer photos, end job photos, get referrals with
Get
or
referrals.
without your product, and get upsells. And he's always like, oh yeah, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, but what about all the canvassing leads you can get? I'm like, great. So it's a multi beneficial program, the brand ambassador. But this is what I'm hearing from you, and perhaps what I didn't take away from our previous conversation as much as I am now, which is what an amazing ability to say to your customer, "Hey, download this app. Why? So you can give me referrals." Okay, no. Download this app so that you can follow the status of your project. Absolutely, downloading. Oh, by the way, check this out. Boom. I love it.
Yeah. 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 We also have an integration with Company Cam for those companies out there that use Company Cam. So you can actually go into your CRM and whichever pictures you want a homeowner see, you just tag it and it goes right into the app and gets stored in there. And they get a push notification and says, "Hey, you have a new photo of your project. Click here to check it out." And so there's all these little touch points that we kind of built out that just make it, once again, seamless, easy to use, and something that a lot of companies struggle with, to be perfectly honest. So
So I want to touch on one other point here, and then we'll move on to kind of this is the appetizer. I feel like we'll get to the main course here in a minute. You mentioned Company Cam. I'm a huge fan of Company Cam. I think that their product is awesome. But I'm going to ask you a question because this is like a genuinely I don't know, so I'm asking you to find out kind of a question. Does Company Cam have a similar feature where customers can track projects if they download some version of their app, or is that not something that exists with Company Cam?
no, it's not a customer facing app. So it's more contractor to field worker.
Yeah, I know
And
that. I
yeah,
know it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
contractor app. I didn't know if they had a customer facing element of it or not. And apparently the answer is no.
Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah. And they can, matter of fact, I was at an event last week with one of our large customers and Company Cam was there and you're talking about, yeah, well you can create a photo gallery and email them, the pictures, a homeowner pictures before and after kind of a thing. So as far as I know, they don't have a customer facing app where they can access their pictures. So
Okay,
that
well,
ours does that for them.
yeah, in context of this conversation, that's awesome. Because dear contractor who's listening to this podcast right now, guess what? If you want this customer portal, here it is. Okay, so let's move on to more of the meat of the program here. How does it work? So we've got the app. They can track their project. So walk us through how it works in terms of how the salesperson should be using it and what the actual homeowner does.
Yeah, so the salesperson has it. This is a really good piece, and with sales folks, what I always say, what's in it for me as a salesperson? Why should I? Why should I do this? Right? Why should I take the extra effort? I'm getting leads. They're giving me leads every day. I'm making good money. Why should I do this? Well, what's in it for me is first off, there's less competition at a table. We'll talk about some stats, right? Less competition at the table when a sales rep walks in. The customers are 4 times more likely to buy if it was from a referred customer, and they're less price sensitive. So you can actually not have to overcome pricing as much because typically with a referral that is going to close at 50 to 70% of the time is going to be less price sensitive. So those are some really good what's in it for me as a sales rep. I'm going to close more deals at a higher rate, not have to worry about competition, and I'm going to close them at 60, 70% of the time. So from a salesperson perspective, each sales rep has their own QR code. So each, when a customer would download the app, sales rep just pulls out their app, which they have access to all their customers, all their advocates. I mean, there's lot of transparency that the sales rep has now into their network of what we call advocates, homeowners, so they can communicate with them. That's a whole nother, tool that we just released about a month ago. But from a customer standpoint, they can scan in from a QR code and now locks that homeowner into that sales rep. So whenever referral comes in, either today or 6 months from now, that sales rep's going to get credit for it. I saw in my own business, what used to happen is a referral would come in 6 months later. I'd give it to somebody else because the customer never said it was a referral. And all of a sudden, this whole inner office problem happens. And so that kind of solves that. But me as a sales rep, now I can go out and build my own network. It doesn't even have to be customers. It could be real estate agents. It could be other businesses. You can actually become, like I always say, become an entrepreneur in your own sense and build your own network of advocates. Don't rely on the company to give you leads. Go out and build your own network. And there's social sharing where a sales rep can actually share their QR code on Facebook and say, because the company's paying for it. The company's paying for the referrals, right? So anyway,
So
I get
how
all
much?
excited about it because it's important. It's such a great opportunity for sales reps.
Let's talk about that advocacy part for just a minute. Let's say that I'm a sales rep for a window company, as an example, and I've got my QR code, and I go out and I start to network with some potential advocates, real estate agents, or
Mhm.
whoever might be the case. Um, in real life, what are you seeing in terms of what those companies are paying that sales rep for generating that advocate-based lead? In other words, for the sales rep, how much money can I make on that versus if I'm just waiting for the company to hand me leads?
Yeah, so what I hear out there right now is typically a company is paying anywhere between $400 to $600 for a sit, right? That means they're paying $400 to $600 just to get in front of a customer. That's not their total marketing cost, but 4 to 6, $100 just for that. And so what we're seeing out there is companies going, "Hey, I'll give my reps some of that, that money." If they generate their own leads. So what we're seeing is anywhere, like one company I'm working with right now pays 10%. They pay 10% of whatever. If it's a self-gen lead, they're going to pay them 10% of the deal, right? Sell it for 10 grand, they make $1,000. I mean, that's literally what they're doing in like different incentives. But
On top
typically,
of their sales commission.
yes, yes.
And sales
So
commissions generally run around 10%, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's and they're trying to really kick it into play, right? They're trying to get the buy-in from the reps, so they're being a little bit aggressive there. But typically, you're going to see like one company, the company I went to visit last week, they pay $500 for any self-gen leads. So you go out and generate your own leads, you're going to earn an extra $500 bonus on every deal that you sell. So
I'm
companies
going to
are
say this.
seeing that.
I'm going to say something really funny. Not that I'm a comedian, but think about it this way. Let's say that you decide uh, you're going to go start your own company. Like a sales
Mhm.
rep gets really, this is the old story, right? Oh, I'm going to start my own company. Why should I let this clown make all the profit
Yeah,
when I'm doing all the work? That's kind of how that usually starts, right?
yeah,
So they go out there and they start their company. Okay, so if you're killing it as a home improvement company, you're going to make 20% net profit.
yeah,
That's like the high end. The
yeah,
medium end is going to be like 10, and the
yeah.
low end is like you're barely making any. Okay. Here's what you're telling me. Okay, no, no. As a rep, just go generate your own leads by building your own advocate network and
Yeah.
getting referrals from your customers. Make it 10% there, then also make 10%. You're actually going to make you're going to make 20% on that
Equivalent.
deal without any of the headache of owning the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
This sounds like a great deal to me.
Yeah, yeah, there's no doubt. And it's funny, like, to get that point across, like we're going out to Colorado in next week to train, in person. I think it's like 75 sales reps, right? Because they just want to hear it from somebody else, right? And so we're gonna go out and we're gonna talk about all this, right? How important it is. And I get pretty passionate around it because it's you're missing the boat if you're not taking advantage of it, especially with these companies that see the value of paying their reps more to generate their own leads. I mean, it's a no-brainer. When you look at marketing costs right now, typically a company's happy if they're between 18 and 25% marketing costs, right? All in marketing costs. It's the way I'm presenting this, and we're actually rolling out for our larger enterprise customers a pay for performance. So we actually, believe so much in our product. We actually are going to just charge you either for per referral or per sold job. Now, these are large enterprise companies that have a good process in place and everything, but we're trialing that right now with several large enterprise companies, and it's going really well, because when you tell a CEO of a big company or a small company that I can control your marketing costs from, help you get it from 20% down to maybe 5 to 7% by generating your own leads, using your own sales force, using your own, salespeople and past customers and new customers, and use influencers, use real estate agents. Their eyes open up and they say, and I only have to pay if I get referrals or I sell a deal. I go, yeah, that's how it's going to work. And so they are actually, in some cases end up paying more than what our platform would normally cost, but there's no risk and it's unlimited use. So we're kind of taking away the whole, buying a sales seat and you got a sales rep come and go. It's like you got unlimited use of all of our tools. And so we're really excited about that piece, because we believe in our product, right? It took me a while to get to the point where I said, hey, I have enough confidence in this product, and the timing of everything right now with lead cost and everything happening out there, it's the perfect, kind of the perfect storm. And we've seen a huge increase in inquiries and inbound leads because of it. So.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that, like anything else in the world, you guys have some format of an 80-20 rule. In other words, out of all your customers, you've got this 20% that really leans into your product and really is extracting maximum benefit from it. Not to dump on the ones that aren't, but it's just the nature of things.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to know. I want to know, out of those real, true, not just true believers, but the people that are really utilizing this tool and getting maximum benefit out of it, the 20%, what would you say they're seeing in terms of percentage of their leads that they're closing, or let's say customers that they close are coming through your program versus other marketing sources? Is it, because you said earlier, as a baseline, hey, when I ask CEOs, 4% is like really high. What are you seeing with your guys that are really using this? Is it get up to 10%, 15, 20? Where's it sit usually?
It's all over the board, and I hate saying that it's all over the board. But what we typically will help a company do is basically double what they're currently doing in a short period of time. Like if they're doing 5%, we can get them to 10% pretty quickly.
So if I
If they're
asked
doing
you,
20%,
Jamie, show me 10 companies that are doing 10% of their business from referrals. I'm assuming you could do that pretty easy.
absolutely, yeah. I'll give you a quick little story, and I'm trying to get a use case with this customer. But I had a conversation with him a couple of weeks back, and I was driving to the airport, and we just chatting away, getting to know some of my customers, and because I looked at his results, and it blew my mind. They've been around for a year and a half, generated, this is real numbers, 35,000 referrals, and sold close to 10,000 of them, and their average sales around 30,000 bucks. So tell me it doesn't work. It works, and it's documented, it's tracked. I mean, it's all there. So that's one of the cases that, like, wow, this guy, this company really knows what they're doing. And when I asked him, he goes, I'm not a remodeler. He goes, I'm a marketing company. He goes, that's what we do. We're a marketing company. And if you take that approach, and you utilize this tool to maximize your opportunities and to be creative. And I mean, we have best practices. We share this with our customers, right? The ones that, that 20% that really, takes us to heart, like the big companies that we're working with now, you don't have to tell them. They know what to do, right? They have, marketing teams and everything else. And so those are the easiest to work with. It's the smaller companies that, have a lot of other things going on right now that, it's a little bit more difficult to get them to kind of change, the way they were doing things. But the great part about that is we're addressing that as well. So we're actually releasing probably by end of second quarter, so mid-year, what we're calling, I'm naming it right now, GTR Lite, which is a automated referral system where you can actually bypass the sales rep. You don't even have to have the sales rep, kind of take part in it. And so you just basically sign on, create, a campaign and turn the automation on. And, through text messaging and emailing and integrating with the CRM, when a new customer comes on, there's all sorts of, templates and emails that will go out to not only, get them to download the app, but also to, ask for a review, because we have a review portal right in the app. So we make it super easy to do that as well. So you can collect reviews from the app. Access your contract warranty. We have document upload, so that going back to that customer portal. So automation is going to be key for us. Implementing some sort of AI that can make the journey a little bit easier as well. When to send a reminder to an advocate, based upon how your advocates are currently sending in referrals, and automate a message that is specific for that particular customer or zone or zip code or whatever. So that's all kind of, what we're looking at, coming here in 2024. So we're gonna address the smallest of the small to the largest of the large, and anyone in between. And that's why, we're really excited about, where GTR is this year, where we're going. This is going to be our biggest year yet. And we're really excited, and partnering with some really, really big partners out there strategically. Can't really announce any of them right here and now, but we're going to be part of some really, really big, whether they're, in the lead generation world or not, because a lot of the folks that lead aggregators right now, what you're going to see there, and on a little different subject, you're going to see probably they're looking at losing probably 30% of their business, because of this, going from 8 or 10 customers to one. And you're going to see a lot of the lead aggregators move into different areas and just be out of the business, right? Pivot to somewhere else because it's just too difficult and too expensive. So what we're seeing is some of these lead aggregators saying, well, we need to be a little bit more aggressive around referrals. And so there's opportunities out there for us to partner strategically with, some of these folks that if they sell one lead to one person and they have GTR, that then, correlates into potentially one lead turning into 2 or 3 leads utilizing our platform, thereby reducing the overall cost for that original lead that they bought. So there's a lot of cool things that are happening right now. And, it's just the timing. We've been in it for a long time, right? So it's not like I'm taking advantage of a new opportunity, that just popped up. This is something that's been kind of culminating over the last 10 years for us.
That's really cool. That's really cool. So you'll have lead aggregators using GTR to generate referrals from their leads.
Yes, that, and selling our service to the contractor that they're selling leads to, right? So now that contractor can buy a lead from that one lead aggregator, at a higher price, but also utilize GTR in the same vein and turn that one lead that they bought, say for $1,000, whatever it's going to be, and now turn that into 3 sold jobs, so
Yeah.
thereby kind of there.
I love it. I love how you just keep evolving with the times.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fast paced, and it's exciting, especially what's happening now, more so than ever. I mean, like I said, doing this 10 years, a lot of highs, a lot of lows, a lot of, kind of, figuring things out. And then right now, home improvement, windows, home remodeling, roofing, solar's going through, their changes right now. So that's been a challenge for us because of what's happening in the solar industry. So we pivoted over to roofing and home improvement and windows, and probably about 2 years ago. So we really broadened out. Now with the new GTR Lite, we want to go to painters, landscapers, mom and pop shops where they just have one salesperson, or they're the salesperson, right? So let's automate that. Let's arm them with, a tool that can just generate leads for them on its own. So.
Yeah. So go over the cost structure. How much does it cost to use this product?
So right now we have, we base it off of a package, and a package consists of, if you just want to use the referral component and not do the integration, not do the project status updates, that starts at $400 a month. And that's for 5 sales reps. And then you can always add on additional sales seats to that program $20 a seat at that point. And then, it goes to a medium size, and it's like, I think $700 for a Pro Light, which includes the project tracking and 5 reps. And then Pro Light is 900, that's 15 sales reps. And then Premium is 50 sales reps. And that's $2,100 a month. But now with the pay for performance, a whole different model. You just pay a small, upfront origination fee, onboarding fee, and then you just pay based upon the performance of your program on a monthly basis, based on how many leads you get. So depending on how they want to set it up, they can set it up with a small, monthly SaaS fee, which reduces the cost of the referrals or the
Is
sold.
that is that already rolling out, or is that to be rolled out?
No, it's rolled out right now as we speak. So
And is
yeah,
that only reserved for larger companies at the moment?
at the moment, yeah. Like if you have greater than 100 sales reps, those are the companies I'm targeting there. When you look at how much money they're spending, and I ask them, how much are you spending on leads right now? They're spending millions of dollars a month on leads, and that's only going to go up.
Yeah.
So, these folks need a solution. And that's what, I think that's what's attractive about our program is that you can control your costs, and you're going to get the very best leads that are out there. And then, it's not a magic pill by any means. There's effort that needs to go into it, and we help them along the way. And like I said, automate as much as we possibly can. But yeah, once you get this thing up and running, it just kind of starts building on itself, because if you have a referral, you sent a referral to somebody, you go and sell that referral down, that person becomes an advocate. They send a referral, and it just kind of just keeps, piling up, after, over time. So
So almost like multi-level marketing.
yeah, kind of, sort of, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So
so if somebody wants to learn more and get a demo, what is it? GTR.com, getthereferral.com?
it would be getthereferral.com. Yep.
Yeah,
G
if
E
you
T T
Google
H
get the
E.
referral, it's going to come up. Okay, getthereferral.com. Um, this is a great program. Highly recommended. If you're not looking at it already, there's really no reason that you should continue to not look at it. I don't get it. It just, I mean, even if you're a smaller company and you're going to spend $400 a month to get it on for 5 reps, I mean, what do you need? One referral a month for it to pay for
Yeah.
itself? I mean, come on, guys. It's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, it's certainly, you have to have the right mindset. And as they start to, pay more for leads here and become more and more difficult, and because not only, as you know, in your business, not only are the leads going to cost more, there's going to be fewer leads out there. And so, you need to be creative and you need to go old school. So we're playing along with that, and, go old school with technology. So.
All right. Well, Jamie, thanks for joining me again for a second time. I think it's very timely right now with, like we talked about at the beginning, all the things that are happening. So uh, I would say good luck to you. I don't think you guys need a lot of luck. I think just keep executing an amazing plan.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, Rich. And yeah, anybody who wants I'd be happy to jump on a call and talk strategy. If that's only that you're looking for, more than happy to do that. Jamie, Jamey at getthereferral.com. You can reach out to me directly. So I'm very, very involved with a lot of the sales and onboarding and customer success. So I'm here to help.
All right. Well, hopefully you'll get some folks hearing this and contacting you. But if not, even we'll be pushing people your way. I'm a true believer.
Thank you, Rich. I appreciate it. Appreciate our partnership here, and look forward to do some more of this together.
All right. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks, Jamie.
Take care.